Welcome back for more arms. It's time to take on Mechanica. No, we're not doing 7. Let's do 5. And I will be once again using motion controls because I feel it's actually kind of appropriate to use them with Mechanica because of how her suit is like controlled with joysticks. So it's like I'm using the joysticks now. Live from the scrapyard, the talent, the cleverness, the ingenuity of the Arms Grand Prix is upon us. And who else would be here to share in this action-packed event but your buddy Biff? Don't let this cutie pie confuse you. Mechanica has got plenty of rocket power in that suit of hers. From watching arms matches on a tiny TV she found at the local scrapyard to this very stadium, this little lady's come so far. Not even the fact that she was born without arms abilities could stop her. Oh, I see her dad, the scrapyard boss, is here to cheer her on. Let's get this Arms Grand Prix started. Helix. Alright, sure. Have we seen his stage yet? I don't think we have. It's Mechanica versus the Man of Mystery, Helix. He was created by Arms Laboratories and sent to fight to test how well their experiment worked. Will their self-taught tinkerer's homemade fighting suit hold up against this corporate creation? Alright, so here's the arms. I think I'm going, oh, he's got double guardians there. I feel like revolvers will serve me well for this. So Mechanica is very much like Master Mummy, except she trades the ability to heal for mobility. And actually, her special abilities are not only to have heavy armor, or super armor. I keep saying heavy armor. She can get super armor while moving, and if you hold a button to charge her arms, her thrusters activate, allowing her to glide along the ground or hover midair. This allows her to be able to switch between a more distance poking style and an in-your-face bullying style. So she's not only more mobile than Master Mummy, but she also has that versatility. Well, I guess, I don't know if being able to do two things is versatility, but you know what I mean. Same difference. And I find she's really fun to play as because of the ability to glide and hover. She can do that out of the hover. So again, you gotta be sure to shake it up so you're not being predicted, because this hover can be really predictable if you play it straight like that. You do it exactly as the NPC does. So you try not to hold it for the same time every time. Maybe do a short one. Ow. Alright, now you're starting to make me mad. No, not quite. Alright. Come on. There we go. And like I said, I like to play with the motion controls because it feels like I'm the one piloting the suit. Because of how just the motion controls are, like, you're tilting around joysticks to move. Let's go, let's put on a homie. Where my homies at? On my left hand, that's where. I feel like maybe Mechanica's heavy armor is more of... It's kind of like Min Min's kick, where you don't want to be focusing on utilizing it. It's something that should just kind of happen. And you should be more using her mobility to try to avoid hits. Even though, okay, I keep saying mobility, but her actual mobility stats are still pretty low. Not as low as Master Mummy's, but only one point ahead. So she's not mobile like Spring Man, just for example. Come on ice, please. You set my microwave to defrost. Actually, don't do that. I'm pretty sure you can't microwave Mechanical suit. That would go bad. Although, I found it interesting. You're always taught growing up, don't leave utensils in the don't have a utensil in your dish when you microwave something. Apparently, it's not actually that bad to microwave a utensil. Because it's like, oh, metal's not supposed to be in the microwave. Well, it's actually not that bad. It always made me think, like, oh, if you put metal in the microwave, it'll reflect the rays and it'll make the microwave explode. No. It kind of just sparks a little bit. No, I thought we were against Springman. It was gonna be like, oh, speaking of Springman. No, it's Ribbon Girl. Keep it together. It's Mechanica versus the heiress, Ribbon Girl. I'm fighting my idol. The devoted arms head from a young age, Mechanica's huge fan of Ribbon Girl. Hopefully she can put aside any nerves and fight with all her might. Fight with all my homies. Where my homies at? On both hands. Come on. Ah. Alright. I find that kind of interesting. They're saying she's a fan of Ribbon Girl at a young age, but Ribbon Girl's not that much older than Mechanica. She's like how old was Mechanica? Like 14, 15? Ribbon Girl's 17. Which I always find it interesting that Ribbon Girl is 1 year younger than Min Min. Min Min looks pretty young to me. Okay, this is not going well. Come on. Maybe the homies were not a good idea. At least there's the rush to back me up. Yeah, I really hope we do get an arms too, because I'm sure there's a lot of cool things they can do with new arms. You know, to make new types of weapons. Not just, like, taking existing stuff and changing up their elements. Like, I don't know if that would really be a balanced approach to the idea of new arms. It's like, oh, here's a toaster, but now it's... Actually, I think they do have gloves of every element. Here's a toaster, but it's poison. There's an element you don't have a toaster variant of. Or blind. It's like, I'm sure certain arms don't come in certain elements for the sake of balance. So I would imagine they would have to shake up their approaches with, like, how the arm functions. Like, we don't really have curving heavyweight arms. Like the hammer here, or the whammer. It's about the closest we got to that. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. That reminds me, did I ever mention that when you use a rush, the weight of your arms goes up by 1 class? So if I were to rush with my whammer here, it would become super heavy, as it's called. I don't know if that's an official term. Probably not. Yeah, the whammer is basically a curving heavyweight arm that slams down. For whatever that's worth, I'm not really sure. Okay, I should back up. Oh yeah, there we go. That's how you use the homies. You poke from a distance. Yeah, it's all coming together now. So I can make the whammer go straight forward, or... Nope, go at an angle. There we go. Sorry, Josh Jepson. There we go. Now we're winning. And by that I mean we won. I was hoping we would get that one victory. I forgot to look out for it last time. The last time I won, but I do like the one particular victory animation. Try to remember to pay attention to that the next time they... Is that Ninja or I can't tell. He's got a glove covering half his face. The exposed part of his face, so all I see is mask and hair. That could be anyone. I don't know. Now I definitely feel that Mechanica does not have a good default loadout for skill shots, so I'm just gonna hope for the best with revolvers here. Wasn't punching correctly. I wasn't gesturing correctly for the game to recognize my punch. That's on me. That's not the motion controls. Excuse me. Ideally, if my point here is being proven with the motion controls, there won't be much of a noticeable difference between how I play with motion controls and how I play without them. You know, my performance should still be pretty equal. Yeah, I remember when Skyward Sword was coming out and people were worried about its motion controls. And I think it was like when people were getting review copies. There was like one review that was like, man, these motion controls are absolutely terrible and super unresponsive and garbage. And then it was like, I wouldn't say it was Game Explain made a video where it's like showing off the motion controls, doing, you know, showing how responsive they actually are. It's being like, what? But there it is. I really like that victory animation. It's because it plays to Mechanica's cuteness, but it also reminds you, oh yeah, she's wearing a super heavy armor suit. And it's almost like she forgot that she's wearing a heavy armor suit. Gaining steam, it's Mechanica versus the Ramen Bomber Min Min. Just look at that big ringside gong. But it sounds awesome. Maybe they'll let me hit it later. Yeah, you actually can hit it if you're close enough to it. And you can curve your arms into it. Yeah, let's do a whammer and a revolver. So if you're gonna tell, the revolver is the electric version of the retorture. So this is what a retorture is supposed to be like when you put it together, right? And actually, I've seen it vary. Like there's two different quotes about. I think they're both official quotes about the origin of the retorture. One of them says someone put it together wrong, but there is a version that I have seen that says Mechanica is the one who took apart a revolver and put it together wrong and made a retorture. So I don't know if both is canon and, you know, someone made it, but then, you know, if Mechanica did it and then someone describing it later was just like, yeah, someone did it. Or if maybe Mechanica did invent the retorture and, like, sold the idea to the company who makes the revolver. Ow. Hey, let's see if I can get the gong. There we go. There's some gong for you. Get out of here. Except you... What do I mean, get out of here? You can't ring out in this game. Oh, that would be kind of annoying if they did that. Honestly, I don't like when fighting games have that option. It just feels cheap either way. Like, if I'm the one who rings out and I, you know, instantly lose because I got knocked out of the ring, that's not fun. But if my opponent is the one who gets knocked out of the ring, it's like, well, I didn't plan to do that. I don't like instant wins like that, where it's, you know, it still feels cheap to me, and I'm the one who... Oh, that was my thumbstick drifting. Yeah, it doesn't feel fair either way, you know? Come on, get up. Get down with the sickness. Okay, double whammers probably wasn't a great idea. Just like 90 on the freeway wasn't the brightest idea as cops appear in my driver's side mirror. Ow, she's getting me with the fire dragon. Just remember that I can block. There we go. Alright, now I've got her number. Ow. Yeah, double whammer. I do wonder if there are any arms where you really can't get away with having one on both hands. There is one we'll see later. Actually, it was one of the ones Helix was using. He went double at the beginning of this. The very first fight of, you know, very first round of this episode was Helix using 2 guardians, which is shields. So you would think don't go 2 shields, but it's actually oddly successful sometimes. Mechanica versus the Speed Demon Kikobra. Fighters can jump into the snake boat. Oops, I hit the button and I clicked through it. Risk of getting left in the dust. Or I can just knock you off the board and keep knocking you off the board. Let's go. Ah, I was gonna say double homies, but then my stick drifted. Yeah, stay off the board. Not letting you get on there. Not letting you. No. No more board for you. Hey, you can't take the second one. Don't take the second one. That's the one that started by my starting spot. That's my board. You can't get on there. Come on. I hate when their arm breaks and I try to grab and I still miss. Like, what am I doing? How am I so bad at grabbing? I'm using motion controls. They're supposed to make you better at grabbing. Gives you better grabbing ability. And I'm still messing up my grabs. Okay. I gotta get it from distance because I'm using homie. Apparently that's where I've had the most success. There we go. Nope. Get back to the circle. Alright, fine. Yeah, the thing about the revolver being electric is the electricity kind of only matters if they only get hit by one of your shots. If they get hit by another, they get knocked down. Excuse me. One arm and then the other. Just knocking out all his arms. I wonder what that feels like when you know, the little red triangle shows up and their arm breaks. Like, do you think that just feels numb? That's probably what it feels like. You get punched in the arm so much it just goes numb, which is the thing that happens. I could believe it happening in a fight too. Well, come on. It's freaking Hydra. I could have just sidestepped it and I didn't. And what am I doing? Playing with motion controls, that's what I'm doing. I'm not used to motion controls, that's why I'm not doing as good. But you can still see, you know, even on level, what was it, level 5, I'm still doing pretty decent with motion controls. Dare say I might even try to do level 7 with someone, if I had someone I was that comfortable with. Maybe Kid Cobra. I feel kind of confident in my ability with Kid Cobra. I might go on motion controls when we do him. It's his turn to be the victor. But not this time. Didn't quite time it right to say that as I'm beating him. Alright, one more punch. Or an explosion, that's cool too. A freaking whistling water bottle whistles when I drink from it, I don't know why. We get the hoops. We get the poops. It's hoops, poops. Stay calm under pressure. Let's mix it up and play some hoops. It's poops. I guess revolver. Now, when I was looking on the wiki to see like character stats and stuff, and make sure I have it correct what Mechanica's playstyle is, I forgot that they have a little section there for character signatures, which I forget where you find those officially. I think that's like in Party Crash results. You know, after you've supported, you know, when you've supported one side, you get like basically a thank you note from that fighter, thanking you for supporting them even if they lost, and it includes their signature. But I didn't realize that Mechanica's signature comes with a little doodle of her with the arms ability. And actually, some dialogue says that Mechanica's weakness is drawing. So it's good to see that she still draws, even though that's supposedly her weakness. Don't let drawing be your weakness. Keep drawing. Don't let anyone tell you to stop. The only way you're gonna get better is you gotta keep doing it. Can't get good at something by not doing it, so you think you're bad at drawing, just keep drawing. I know that from experience, because there have been some things I started drawing where it's like, man, I hate this. I don't like this. I'm gonna stop. But then I was like, you know, I gotta keep drawing, because if I don't draw bad things sometimes, I won't be able to get from bad to good. So I kept drawing it, and then it turned out like, oh yeah, you know, this came out kind of nice. Uh-oh! Ah! No! No! Don't! Ah, she dumped me. Also, some other interesting signatures I thought, well, Springman's also has a little doodle, and Springtron doesn't even really have a signature. It's kind of like a little barcode, and Biting Barks is just a stamp. Uh-oh. Talk about getting dunked on. Jeez. There we go. Finally. Took me 3 tries to beat her at hoops. I didn't realize Twin Tail was that good at hoops. Oh, I know that stage. That's Buster Beach. Can't be anyone but Bite and Bark. Match 7. Keep grinding. It's Mechanica versus the Clockwork Cops. Bite and Bark. Heard these beach patrol bots were built by at the arms factory. This is the ultimate showdown of mechanical fighting machines. I mean, it could be the ultimate showdown between mechanical fighting machines if it were Bite and Bark versus Springtron. You know, two robots fighting each other. May the best robot win. Bite will win because it will be me playing. Whatever. So I think if there's any heavyweight arm that's probably meant for long range, I would say it's got to be the Whammer. I mean, you kind of have the Whammer, and then, you know, Megaton, Megawatt, and then the shields. Like that's basically all the heavyweights. Oh, and the Lockjaw. So I'm not really sure what the strategy to that one is. Honestly, that Dr. Coil kind of did come out where it's like, yeah, I want to play other games for a bit. I'm not really super invested in ARMS, you know. Peeked in to see what the new fighter was like, and then, you know, went on to whatever else I was playing at the time. I think she came out in December. I don't know what I was playing December 2017. Probably not much, because I didn't have much on my Switch at that time. I know I did get Mario Odyssey for Christmas that year, but, you know, she came out, like, early December, I think. So, not quite the right time period, I suppose. Nah, come on. Did you say something about dangerous? You're the dangerous one, rolling me around like that. You know, how exactly do you knock out a fighting robot? I feel like if you were to knock out a robot, you probably broke something. Unless it's like, you know, Rock'em Sock'em Robots, where it's built to, like, have a fail state, you know, where you hit it just right and the head pops up. It's like, yep, you knocked them out. There you go. But that would also mean that they built their robots, their cop robots, with the ability to be knocked out. Which, why would you build your cop robots with the ability to be knocked out? Unless you specifically know you're going to enter them in the ARMS tournament, which I suppose could be the case. Yeah, I gotcha. Did I mention my idea before of, you know, so Bite and Bark? Bite is kind of mediocre without Bark. I feel like maybe he could be a little bit more balanced if he had heavy armor, because all of his abilities are tied to Bark, and I feel like that's not necessarily fair for him. Like, not that he can't be an effective fighter, like I've been saying multiple times. He definitely can be. But I don't know. Heavy armor, or super armor, is kind of a secondary thing that you don't really need to think about using to use. You know, it's more of a passive. So I don't think it would necessarily be unbalanced for him to have heavy armor, super armor, and Bark. You know, the abilities that Bark comes with. Pressure's building. It's Mechanica versus the spirited fighter Misongo. When his spirit sidekick turns yellow and imbues him with its power, his rush is unstoppable. But if anyone's gonna find a workaround, it's our little tinkerer Mechanica. Can her state-of-the-art fighting suit overcome Misongo's spiritual powers? Prowess? Wait and see, folks. Oh, it can. Because it will. And it's not like Bite and Bark would be overpowered by having super armor, because of, you know, how easy it is to knock Bark down. I feel like it would just give him... I mean, it's like... It makes me think of like how Max Brass has... He has the ability to buff up. He's basically a combination of Min Min and Spring Man. You know, he's got the Shockwave, and he has the ability to gain super armor and increase his speed and arms girth. So you would think it would be no problem, just add, you know, giving Bite and Bark super armor, and counting Bark's abilities as one ability instead of two like they do for some reason. Oh, there's Unstoppable Rush! So I wasn't careful. And Masango here, he's got a multitude of abilities he can access because of his one ability is to equip the Mask Spirit and gets his stats changed depending on which mask he has. So if they made arms too, I would hope that Bite gets a buff like that. You know, some super armor or something of that effect. Something where he's not mediocre without Bark. Like, I get their things at being a duo, and being able to knock out Bark kind of is to balance Bark. But I definitely think Bite should have more ability. Especially because he's a robot. You would think he would have super armor. He would be just as tough as Master Mummy. Oh man, he's at full health. Jeez. I'm not doing good this round. See, he's got the speed mask on now. So he's got the speed mask, the power mask, and the rush mask. Excuse me. And I have on the burp mask. See, there's the power mask. Gives him heavy armor, or super armor, and increased arms girth. It's like if he can have that, and the option for speed, and the option for an invincible rush, or alongside increased rush build with the rush mask, and the ability to turn his mask into a defensive pillar, which the NPC likes to do a lot anyway. Should stop sitting around gesturing. And just actually freaking fight. Like, come on, me. Why am I standing around so much? Why do I do that? It's like I'm like I said last time, I was kind of impressed with my own ability to commentate while playing on level 7. And if you're not impressed, that's fine. You don't have to be. You know, I suppose I can pat myself on the back a little bit. You know, you gotta do that sometimes. Gotta be able to remind yourself that, yeah, you do cool things sometimes. So how is it that I'm able to commentate while playing level 7, but then also not explain my train of thought with whatever I was saying before this fight started? Come on. I also feel like Master Mummy should maybe have some buffs, because, again, having heavy armor counted as one of your abilities does kind of seem underwhelming when you compare it to even just like Spring Man. Although I suppose his second ability also is a passive of, you know, relying on his health getting low. So I question my own. If you're questioning my sense of balance, then I question it too. All right, the semi-final. Who we getting? Match 9, one scrap away. It's Mechanica versus the Sucker Puncher, Lollipop. With her well-honed clowning tricks, Lola can pull off an aerial moves confuse opponents. Mechanica's too smart to fall for any of those stunts, at least. That's what I'm hoping for. So you're room for Mechanica this time. I did read, apparently there was a little bit of a rivalry between Biff and Lollipop, which you can see on this stage, because that shop over there to the left, you can see that's Lola's face. And then if I fly on over here to the right... Okay, you can't really get a good look at it, but that shop on the right, it has Biff's face on it. So, they're competitors, apparently. But not so much so that they're actively hostile, because there is, like, official art of Biff helping Lola with the street performance. And of course, Lola has Biff's face on her Bifflers, so she at least appreciates him enough to be able to use his face on the Biffler. Whether or not she invented the Biffler, that's probably not the case, but she has no problems with using something that has his face on it. You know, it's funny. Before Lollipop was shown off, I had designed my own clown arms fighter, and I gave them a blind attribute weapon, but it was actually more along the lines of a pie. So it would just be a pie that, you know, you get a pie in the face and then you become blind. Okay, I'm dying. Oh, I got KO'd. Guess I'll go double revolvers. Nope. Come on. Ah. Come on. Ha. Got you right out of the air. Yeah, you can kind of see the Biff sign there. Ow. I figured if I had actually designed my clown fighter with any other weapons, I think it was just the pies. That was all I had in mind. I want to say I did brainstorm ideas for other arms for a clown, but definitely didn't come any close to what Lollipop actually ended up having. Come on. Pluck you out of the air again. And once again. Yeah, people definitely have had qualms with grab spamming, myself included. Especially with players who like to play Ninjara and do the jump, dodge, grab maneuver. But there is a fair argument to say that grabbing doesn't need any kind of balancing to it. Because if you're falling for the grab every time, it's kind of your fault. Because if your opponent is doing the jump dash grab technique, then you know that after a dash is going to come a grab. So you should know to avoid it and counterattack and punish accordingly, as they say. Plus, you do kind of only have 3 attacks you could possibly do at any given point in a fight. Your left arm, your right arm. I did the opposites, but that's not because I was trying to do what arm I was saying as I was saying, and I just happened to attack with both arms while I was saying that. Yeah, left arm, right arm, and grab. And you can kind of count rush as a third move, but... And that simplicity kind of is the beauty of this game's design, is that you only have 2 attacks. I did have an idea for what they could do for a sequel. Would this be easier to explain if I wait to explain it while we're on the arm select screen? Dab's Grand Prix grand finale is here at last. Listen to that crowd. The fans are fired up. It's Mechanica versus the Kamish, Max Brass. Mechanica grew up watching him dominate Arms League. He's a living legend. But every empire must crumble. It's time to make history, Mechanica. There we go, the grand finale. So I had the idea of having an arm that can... I think it was combine the abilities of 2 given arms. So I called it the forearm, because it's like, in the middle of your arm. I don't know if you... I was hoping my gesture came through in the motion controls. Probably not. See, it would be like... There would be like an icon where you could pick 2 arms at once and kind of combine them. It's been a while since I've had that idea, so I forget exactly how it was supposed to play out and how exactly combining them would work. But it would basically mean that not only could you take 3 arms into battle, but also any combination of those 2 arms, of any 2 of those 3 on one hand, to basically have up to 4 equipped at once. But, now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, well, would that really be all that much more interesting? There's just like, oh, here's a toaster, but it's a poison element. It's a totally brand new arm and super exciting. It's like I was saying earlier, I think they would need to do more than that to make interesting new arms sets. It's just because you take an arm that didn't have an element and give it that element doesn't necessarily constitute new exciting weapons. Like, that's what they could have done with the rest of, all the DLC fighters in this game, and they didn't. Masango has an entirely new set of arms, with the only one being any similar to a previous arm was one that only had one in its type, the Blorb. They took the poison Blorb, or the blind Blorb, and turned it poison, and there you go. Now there's actually two types of Blorbs. Two types of that jiggly, gelatinous blob, weird, bouncy arm. So if anything, I feel like that's what they would do, is any arm type that was unique, they would add a new element to it to have at least two of the type. So I'm just now remembering to explain. So, of course, they've said before, Mechanica does not have the arms ability. She's using a suit to mimic the arms ability. That just so happens to also give her heavy armor and legal use of a jetpack. Actually, I don't know if it would be illegal to use a jetpack in arms, so apparently not. All you need to do is have the arms ability, I suppose, and equip yourself with one glove on each hand of a set of 3 that you can take with you. But yeah, Mechanica does not have the arms ability. And because of that, she also does not have the spiral irises that all the other fighters have. Just a nice little detail that, yeah, the arms ability gives you spirally irises, and since Mechanica does not have the arms ability, she doesn't have the irises. I guess you could say Max Brass doesn't either, but I think that's just a trait of his mask. It's the Spider-Man effect. Can it be? Has someone finally taken down the Max Brass? Ladies and gents, the winner today. What? Up in the sky. What is that thing? It's Superman! Glommed onto Max's head. There's good close-up of spirally irises. It's like, speaking of. Okay, I forgot. I can skip that cutscene. I'll try to remember to do that next time. Here going forth. What a turn of events! Victory was all but assured, but now there's a party crasher to deal with. I don't fully understand what just happened, but it looks like we're in for quite a fight. Come on, Mechanica. Beat this bully and make your dad's dream come true by bringing the belt home. Wait, is it his dream for me to do it, or his dream to have the belt at all? Guess we'll go double revolver, try to capitalize on his extra vulnerability there with some extra projectiles, extra chances to hit him when he's vulnerable. It's kind of interesting to see that his shockwave is capable of deflecting all 3 shots from my revolvers. I'm just going to call them retortures for a second. But I suppose... I don't know if that's because of, like, a specific amount of extended invincibility frames to the shockwave, or if it's, I feel like I just got pepper on my nose. What the heck? There's no pepper around here. I didn't have any pepper on my lunch. Whoa! Haha! No. Or if you do have to particularly well time your shockwave to be able to deflect all 3 hits. But that is worth knowing. That you can, you can, forgetting what I'm saying while I'm saying it, that you can deflect multiple hits with shockwaves. Just makes me think of Shockwave Flash. It's like, oh man, why'd they have to go on Flash? Like, I get no longer supporting it, but just making it where it doesn't work anymore at all, like, definitively, like, come on. It just makes me think of Battleborn. It's like, yeah, they shut it down. It's like, now it's definitively just completely, literally unplayable because they shut the servers down. And all of the stuff, even the single-player stuff, was all server-based. It's like, man, you couldn't even put out a patch to, you know, let us download the server stuff so we can play offline. But that, I can understand, taking, you know, more time and money than they would have wanted to spend shutting down a game. Oh, that was round 2. Well, there we go. That's Mechanica. Also, if you want to, if you're, you know, you're just playing because if you're like me and you like to just play through Grand Prix just for fun and you don't want to see the cutscenes and the dialogue and stuff, this is the point where you can just hit quit, since it says just quit and not save and quit. The next time you do a Grand Prix, it will not ask you if you want to continue from where you left off. I suppose I did forget to mention that yeah, you can save and quit and just go back to the main menu, pick it up late, you know, play some other modes, play online, and then pick up your Grand Prix later. The winner of the Arms Grand Prix and your new Grand Champion, the Scrapyard Scrapper, Mechanica. Look at that belt gyrate. All it took was some spare parts and a lot of heart. Congratulations. Thank you all the competitors and fans at home. I'm so excited. Yep, there you go. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. See you in the next... I don't know how I forgot my phrasing while saying it. There's got to be something wrong with my brain. I gotta go get a CAT scan or something. It's probably not that serious. It's probably just, you know, just how I am. Bye.